Well, this is about as bright as it ever gets inside the container. And I don't have things all neatly set up yet, but I'm working on it. Here's the desk that I brought up this time. You can see I've got a lot of stuff on it, still pretty chaotic. I've rearranged things a little bit. You can see now I have kind of a GI cook stove and a couple barrels by the door, and there's lanterns and stuff. But the big change this trip was the library. And my neighbors, my good neighbors, came by and helped me put up this shelf, which is 30 feet long, and it goes almost the full length of the inside of the container. And I have brought in all kinds of very nice books and things to pass the time when you are staying up here in the forest, and plenty of things to read, all different kinds of things. There at the end of the container you can see there are 8 barrels, and there's a bed on top of that, chair there. You see the frying pans hanging on the wall. This is about as bright as it ever gets inside the container. And since it's as bright as it is, we really ought to also take a close look at the stove. It's warm enough now that you can see I've got a bunch of candles sitting on the stove, but it's warm enough now that I don't really need to use the stove, but it's a good stove and it'll keep things very toasty inside here, even when it's 20 below outside in the winter. And that's the purpose of this little stove. Those barrels that you see by the door are probably going to have 2 things in them. One barrel will be for water, and that's containers of water because it freezes, of course, and you want, if a container should break, you want to be able to minimize the leakage, so the containers would be in there. And then the other one would be for firewood in the winter. Here's just a little bit closer shot of this nice desk that was a throwaway desk in the garage when I moved into Mukilteo. And you can see some of the stuff. It's still pretty chaotic because, frankly, I just put the shelf up, just took the books out of the boxes, and have finally gotten around to being able to put them out. I'll be culling some, but right now anybody that would come up here and stay for a while would have plenty of fun things to read and so on and so forth. You can see a bunch of boxes there on the wall. Those are the empty boxes that the books came up in. Actually, there's 3 boxes of throwaway books that I'm going to donate or do something with. And that's basically it for inside the container. Right now it's about, what time is it? Let me look at the clock over here. You can see my Jeep outside there sitting by the door. And you can get a good look at the wire that crosses by the doorway and has things hanging on it. A couple maps, one of British Columbia and one of the Okanagan up here on the wall. Right now it's about 5 minutes to 7. We're so far north that still lots of sun. And when I positioned the container, I wanted to make sure that there'd be good feng shui. So in the afternoon at this time we get this wonderful sun coming in. At some point I want to have windows looking south through the wall here, which is solid now, but that's a budget thing and that'll take some time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed visiting my container as it now is configured. I'm sure it'll be different if you ever visit because I'll be adjusting things all along. Well, so long from the Okanagan Forest.